one for you, 19 for me. 'Cause I'm a tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. Should 5% appear too small? Be thankful a lot, don't take it all. 'Cause I'm a tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. If you drive the car, I'll tax the street. If you try to sit, I'll tax your seat. If you get too cold, I'll tax the heat. If you take a walk, I'll tax your feet. Tax ask me what I want it for. If you don't want to take some more, 'cause I'm a tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. Now my advice for those who die: to clear the pennies on your eye. Ladies and gentlemen, the Taste Buds. Please welcome the Ducks and Mr. Dan Kelly to the stage. Far beyond the great divide, I found my little place to hide, where roots run deep along the banks below. Ferns and lilies line the streams underneath the evergreens. Colors burst as life begins to bloom, and waters whisper in my ear, and all my problems, they disappear on another sunny Sunday afternoon. Remembering once upon a time when I was new, running wild in open night and trying to true, searching hard to find a way back to a time that echoes far beyond the dream to be untied. In the end, we'll live to learn that all good deeds will be returned. There's nothing you can do or say to change it. Walking through this life alone, it won't build you up, it won't make you whole. Chances are you'll meet him very soon, so take your time. This rule of thumb, and know that you can overcome on another sunny Sunday afternoon. Remembering once upon a time when I was new, running wild in open night and trying true, searching hard to find a way back to a time that echoes far beyond Listen here as I play your favorite song. You come around and then you're gone. Many miles of road stood between you and your home. A place that we will always know. So take my hand as we walk on down that road. And hope the land is never sold. Half a mile from town, it's the only place that we know. Through the cold rain and snow, those Scottish eyes, they treat me kindly. White hair and a weathered smile, they both surround me. grave down that same old. Farm the land and let it grow. Teach your children they can carry twice the load. We'll see you soon, it's time to go. Treat me kindly. White hair and a weathered smile, they both surround me. Gently, calculate this time machine, living in the past, knowing it won't last. Armored up and we skate along to places where we don't belong, lost inside a dream. There's nothing's as it seems. Slowly we run into the sun. Yarrow emerge, life has begun. They were all wrong while you sat bewildered, she understands. You know that I'll always be there, never alone, no cross to bear. My mind is a puddle, draining in the heat. Why can't I remember what I'm doing in the sea? Now the rules are broken and time has slipped away. The levees bursted open and the band begins to play. I'm stuck in constant motion, my eyes can find the moon. I hear the low-pitched voices say the end is coming soon. Which way is the right way? I gotta make a plan. I'm lost inside the slab of metal, tripping in a van. I'm tripping in a van. Mama, don't be mad at me, I'm doing the best I can. And I'm on my way to California, gonna get a tan. And I'm tripping in a van. What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? Well, what have you done? What have you done, son? Lean to the sun. What have you done? Tints and rainbows shoot across the windows one by one. The highway's turning to a river, journey's just begun. Navigating aimlessly, we cruise towards the shore. Control is just a memory, I can't unlock the door. And I'm tripping in a van. Mama, don't be mad at me, I'm doing the best I can. Yeah, and I'm on my way to California via Tokyo, Japan. And I'm tripping in a van.
All right. Well, I sure do appreciate that, and thanks for making this whole experience so great, and all the wonderful people that I've been able to meet and play for and talk to after shows, and all the amazing places that we've been able to go as a group, and it's been absolutely amazing. So I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. So appreciate you very much. Thank you.
The voices all have gone away and now I'm all alone. But then the wind begins to whisper cheerful, happy tones. This must be the right way, she's following your plan. The thing you must remember is you're tripping in a van. I'm tripping in a van. Mama, don't be mad at me, I'm doing the best I can. This time I'm on my way to California via Tokyo, Iran. And I'm tripping in a van. Yeah, I said I'm tripping in a van. Mama said I'm tripping, yeah, yeah, in a van. What is this place we love? Could this be real or is it heaven? I think we finally found our home. Rivers run through open fields and filter down into the sea. No one around, can't hear a sound aside from bluebirds singing sweet songs as we watch the sun go down. In all our lives we've never felt we've been so fortunate and free. Planet Silver is where we'd like to be. distance comes a girl, stands before us with a grin. She said, we wondered where you've been. We've been waiting for you both so you could see how it could be. Planet Earth will soon be gone if you don't take what you see here. Tell the people, make it clear. It's not too late to change the way you live your lives, I hope you see. Planet Silver, it's where we like to be. Thank you guys, we'll be right back. Stick around. searching for that midnight sun. There ain't nothing I can do when the devil's got hold of you. had a heart of gold. He drove a beat-up old Pinto that he wished he had sold. When he walked into his apartment, it smelled like mold. And he sat me on the couch, this was a story he told. When I was 21, I grabbed my last $20 bill with looking for fun. So I drove all night till the morning sun, and I ended up in Vegas trying to go on a run, yeah. Yeah, next thing I knew, I was rolling the dice without a care in the world. Hoping my numbers were nice. I said a prayer to my mother, I looked to the sky, and I wasn't gonna lose with Lady Luck on my side. I'm on the road looking down at my stack. I'm on the wheel, I'm betting heavy and black. Pit bosses came and called me a sweet. It's now or never, time to turn up the heat. There's a devil on my shoulder telling me what to do. Stick around and keep it rolling, better see through. Gotta keep it together before I hit a wall. Drive home on an empty tank with nothing at all. Back to the room trying to lay in the sack, but I could hear the cards shuffling, they were calling me back. So I grabbed my paper, headed towards the door. I got my eyes on the prize and I'm looking to score, yeah. I'm at the high roller table and I'm feeling alive. I'm looking down at my watch, it's 4:45. So I start betting heavy, I got money to burn. I got a straight on the flop and I'm all in on the turn. It's 101 and I'm reading the cues. Or I'm alive and I got nothing to lose. Fifth Street's got a spade and a 10. Flush on my table, I got ribbit again. There's an island in the middle of our town, not too far away from where we've stuck around. Iridescent lights that glow beyond the trees, hear the music faintly floating through the breeze. All the while the people gather from afar to reminisce about the future of the stars. Document the time, cherish while they roam. Follow leaves to follow melodies back home. Thunder islands sparkle brightly through the night. All the people there will make you feel alright. Close your eyes to hear the artifacts below. Whether real or not, I guess we'll never know. Time is passing by like cars along the road. Don't stray away or you will reap what you have sown. Watch out for one another, laughing as we grow. A human sanctuary far away from home. It's a flash of time before we have to go. Time to pack our things and go back to the show. One thing left to do before we leave this town. Get lost and found between the visions and the sound. It's an island where the living go insane. Send a message home by bottle, ship, or plane. Tell the ones we love to join us very soon. They'll be stranded cause we're running out of room. Thunder Island sparkled brightly through the night. All the people there will make you feel alright. Close your eyes to hear the artifacts below. Whether real or not, I guess we'll never know. Time is passing by like cars along the road. Don't stray away or you will reap what you have sown. Watch out for one another, laughing as we grow. A human sanctuary far away from home.
Can you guys hear me out there? Can everybody hear me? Hi, I'm Rob. I'm new here. It's my first day. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you and to the band for making me feel so welcome. This is a trip, you know, and you're really making me feel cozy, and I've known these guys a long time, which helps. And I want to embarrass Lyle because he's so great. But I was just thinking of this the other day, and I wanted to share it with you to just share the gravity of how much Lyle means to the music community and all of you, but to the guitar community. And you know, I see it all the time. Every once in a while, there's these like threads on the internet where people are like, "Who's the best guitar player?" And there's like 100 answers. And I really shouldn't get involved in those, but I always can't help myself, and I always sneak on there and I just type Lyle Brewer, and then I just bounce. So thank you, Lyle, for everything, for inspiring all of us and continuing to do so. Lyle Brewer.
Try to smile even if you're mad, 'cause nothing good will ever come from being bitter, blue, or sad. If you stick around, we'll make sure your feet don't leave the ground. Steve, sometimes it's hard to swallow your pride and pick an apple from the tree. Find that middle ground. Do your best to try and slow it down.
right, baby.
Yeah, Rob. All right, my turn to talk. It'll be very short, I promise. Lyle is a very important person to me, as many of you know. When I joined Neighbor, I was 26. People from all over the world learn guitar from him, right? They pay a lot of money to do it too, privately or at Berkeley. And just being around him for the past 6 years, I seriously feel like I've just learned so much about music, so much about life, so much about what it means to be a good guy. And like, fast forward through the 6 years and I'm married and I have a son of my own, and like he has been there for me through all of it. Like, and these guys too, but like, I'm a sober guy. Lyle's a sober guy. We travel the country playing music, and that's not always easy, And just one of my best friends over there, and I'm very grateful for you, my friend. Thank you so much for everything over these past couple of weeks.
Time, memories surround me. You awake to find secrets from a pine tree, whipping through the wind, laughing with amigos. I wouldn't trade a thing, playing with the shadow. It was never that hard to find an easier way of living, spinning round in circles, making do with the things you're given. Memories of fun. Again, climbing through the treetops, lying in my bed, I could hear a pin drop, 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 drop. It was never that hard to find an easier way of living, spinning round in circles, making do with the things you're given. Memories of fun. back in time. Memories surround me. You awake to find secrets from a pine tree. It was never that hard to find an easier way of living. Spin round in circles, making do with the things you're given. Memories of far.
All right. I wasn't planning on talking, but since everyone's saying their piece, I'll say a quick one as well. I was thinking about this. When someone leaves a band, there's always something. There's controversy, or there's an ego problem. The person's going to go solo and make it big, or they just don't get along anymore, or they're having problems, or there's always something going on when someone leaves the band. The reason why Lyle's leaving the band is because Lyle's doing great. That's it. He's just doing great. And beyond that, you can talk about Lyle the musician. What always struck me about him was his character. What a person of integrity he is. I actually do the thing where if I'm in a situation where my own character can't handle it, I start thinking what would Lyle do? Yeah, that's the decision I want to make right here, because I can't do it on my own. So I'll text him and be like, what should I do here? Thank you, Lyle. I love you, Lyle.
I guess I'll say something as well. Lyle and I, Neighbor was really started in 1989 when Lyle moved in next door to me. And Lyle's, from the day I met him, he's fearless. And in anything that he did, whether it was sports, whether it was school, whether it was the saxophone, the guitar, the bass, the drums, he took everything so damn seriously. And it was inspiring for me to watch my whole entire life. And when I decided to start this thing in 2018, no doubt in my mind, I'm gonna give him a call. Let's see what he says. He was like, yeah, sure. And we sang the national anthem at Fenway Park. We played at all of the big festivals. Bonnaroo, we went and played in Iceland together. We played so many amazing shows all around the country. And Lyle was always the rock, the guy who took care of everyone. And before every show, we all put him in, and at the end, it's bros. He's our brother. He's my brother. It's sad to see him go, but like Duck said, he's doing great. And we love him so much. We love you, man.
Starting to feel a little bit more like a memorial. Let's party.
Yeah, I didn't die.
He's right here.
Right here.
Perfectly fine.
Lyle was such a great guy, wasn't he? He was such a great guy.
Man, I'll never forget that time
It's too bad he
I'll
died.
never forget it.
It's sad he died.
So sad he's gone.
It's yeah, I'm gonna miss him.
He really was. I remember when he would.
Man, if he were here right now, he would be having such a good time. Like, he would have loved this.
He really would have loved this.
Let's do
This one's for you, Lyle.
This one's for you, Lyle. inside of me, floating helplessly. Warning signs intensified, solace magnified on an endless ride. Like a hammer striking steel, two worlds are real. Hammer striking steel, it's a never-ending wheel. It's too late to be the one who I'm meant to be, running aimlessly. Always feel identified, solace magnified on an endless ride. Like a hammer striking steel, two worlds are real. Hammer striking steel, it's a never-ending wheel.
everybody.